the whole fear of being on camera, we kind of talked about it before we hit record today. Just to bring people up to speed, I had a client almost have a meltdown in my studio because she, all of a sudden, like you said before, the light went on and her mind went blank. So, do you have any tips that you would tell somebody, that's in that is holding them back from actually achieving the stuff that we've been talking about the last couple of minutes with, launching their business or their whatever they're trying to do into a new platform, that type of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, I want to always reassure somebody that just because you have been an accountant for 5 or 10 years and you have spoken about accounting day in and day out, you kind of, it's just second nature to you. But people are so hungry for learning, and they're not going to watch your content with that title of how to file your taxes in 2025. They're not going to click on that unless they're actually interested in it, and they're clicking on it because they're like, okay, I like the look of that person that's going to give that information. Let me give it a try. They're hungry for you to speak to them. So what you say is absolutely important and matters to a huge audience. And don't underestimate how many people there are out there looking for your type of business or your type of information. And so first realize that people are really want to hear from you, and they're also just people. It's no different than a conversation that you could have in line at the supermarket for the self-checkout. And if you're just waiting, oh, are you a real estate agent? Yeah, I am. Oh,
Right.
What just heard this interest rates or something, right? And it's just that simple. And it doesn't don't get locked up with fear thinking, oh, well, I have to do a 45-minute TED Talk monologue, right? No, that's really quite the opposite.
Yes.
People don't want to hear that. They want to hear, don't do this and that with your faucets, because it's just going to mess it up over time. And just realize that the same conversations you have with people every day are exactly what you want to capture on camera.
Yeah, 100%. And I also my mind is going to that people actually like a little messy, right? They don't love everything that's like super scripted, that I'm sitting here reading from a teleprompter, that they smell the inauthenticity a mile away, right? And then they're going to click away. That's where your average view time is going to go off a cliff because they're sensing it, and they're like, I'm not wasting my time on this person. They're just reading from, it might as well be AI talking to me.
Absolutely. And this is not the space, that people are looking for that. There's a space for so much, and on other platforms, there's a place for the 30-second TV commercial, and that has a certain manner of being. But this is a human conversation, and absolutely mess up. It's like just speak like a normal human being, and you'll be fine.
And to that point, I would say, don't stop comparing yourself to other people, right? Because I promise you, that person that looks their videos are perfect. There is hours of footage that ends up in the trash that they have screwed up their intro 100 times. I do it all the time. I can't tell you how many F-bombs end up on my videos because I keep getting tongue-tied or whatever it is, right? That's okay. Everybody does it. And frankly, if you're messy or, don't worry about how you look or that type of stuff, because nobody cares. They're really they want to know that the content is value added, that's what they're searching for. You're answering a question or providing value or whatever it is. That's what they're, that's what they're looking for. And that's, if you're delivering that, all that other stuff really doesn't matter.
Yeah. And you can definitely, for those that want to try sort of the talking head that's great. You can definitely try that. And again, you don't have to be crystal perfect, like you've done it for 25 years. That's fine. But that's why I do love sort of the format that we provide in that conversation, because we can ask normal human curiosity questions, and not feel intimidated about asking those questions, because that person is clearly not there to make you feel dumb, but to actually provide that information. And so that's an easy way. And just, I'm doing that with a couple of people. Like businesses, categories that I don't really know anything about, but just quick little bit of research, ChatGPT helps me out, and I've got a whole agenda of content, that we can go through that I know they'll be able to answer with absolute expertise.
I think that's a good skill for folks like you and I who own these studios that people can come create content in, is kind of being able to assess the client, right? Some are going to walk in, sit down, pull the mic over and say go. Others, they're a little bit earlier in their journey on camera, and how do we be sensitive to that so that they can make good content, be comfortable, make good content, and then say, wow, that wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. I kind of had fun and I want to come back. To me,
Right.
that's a good scenario. And I mean, I think just treating them like a human being and creating that environment where it's not judgmental is super important.
Agree.
This video was recorded and produced by Just Talk Studios, the premier video podcasting studio in Bellevue, Washington. Visit justtalkstudios.com to learn more and book your session today.